Hello everybody, it's David Sassoon, and I'm going to be walking you through how I do the pairing process for discounters. Now this video has been broken up into 3 segments, so this is the first, and we'll just start with the full ATS. So this is what you would have pulled from Priority, so it should look very familiar. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start, and the way you should start any Excel project, not just this one, but any project, is by creating a copy of the original sheet that you're working in. Because if I make any changes to this and any mistakes that I can't go back from, that aren't within, I'll call the undo window, you'll screw yourself up and have to re-download, and that's a arduous process. So what we're going to do is we're going to first right click on full ATS, move our copy, create a copy, and let's move it to the end. So now once I've done that, I can go ahead and do whatever I want, and in the event that I mess up, I can always go back. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete the top rows, so these rows here. But in this case, I also don't need any of these that are in group A1401, or any of these A's. They don't mean anything to me, so I'm going to go ahead and select all these rows that are not of any use to me. And I'm going to go ahead and delete. Now once I've done that, what I need to now do is get rid of all of the duplications. See the way we have a stock and a total, so that would be a duplicate. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to filter out all the things that don't say stock and aren't blank, because the blank ones are where my size headings are, which are really useful. So I'm going to go ahead and select the top row. I'm going to click data. I'm going to click filter. Now once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and click the drop down in column F, and I'm going to uncheck stock and blanks and click OK. Now the ones that are showing now are total and I guess production are the ones that are showing here. But since this is the end of the season, there's none of these should be in production. But I'm going to go ahead now and select all the rows except for the top row. I still need that heading row. So go ahead and select everything that's currently visible. And once again, I'm going to go home and delete. Now once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead back into that filter in column F, and I'm going to check off select all and click OK. So now the only things that are remaining are my stock items and my size headings. So now I'm going to go ahead and reselect row 1 and get rid of the filter. So I click data and filter. Next, what I'm going to do is get rid of all the unnecessary columns. So I'm going to get rid of group, hold control. I don't need style description. I don't need color. I no longer need column F anymore, nor do I need retail, USD, cost USD, any of these. So once I've selected all the rows I want, I can let go of control, go back home, and click delete. Additionally, I've scanned through this document, and there are no units in anything greater than a size 48, or for us it would be an 18. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these three columns. But before you do that, I would recommend that you scroll through and make sure that there are no units before you do this. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the names of a couple of these headings just so that I can keep the columns as thin as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and select column B. I'm going to click find and select, click replace, and I'm going to type in space, CODE, and I'm going to replace it with nothing. So now it just says color. Click OK and close. I'm going to do something very similar in column L. So select all that, find and select, click replace, and now I'm going to type total. And try to match exactly what you're trying to get rid of. So if it's capitalized, make sure there's a capital T. If it's all lowercase, make sure it's all lowercase. And go ahead and click replace all. And now I'm just going to select all of them and place my cursor in between any two columns until I get the cursor that you see right now. So normally you have this white plus. Wait until you see this, not the black arrow, but the black line with 2 arrows coming out on each side, and you're going to go ahead and double click, and that'll auto fit the columns. Next, what we're going to do is we need to shift over the D's and the E's, because we need to make sure our 32D matches up with the 36. See, right now this 32D is actually in line with the 34, and this 32E is in line with the 32. So what we're going to have to do is, I'm going to just do a few examples, but you would have to go through the whole document and do this manually. I have not found a quicker way to do this. So you go ahead and select all of these, right click, cut, or you can use keyboard shortcuts, so Control X and Control V for copy and paste, or you can right click copy, right click cut, right click paste. And then I'm going to just shift it one over, so Control V. So now my 32D matches up with a 36, and I'll do the same thing with the E's, Control X and Control V. So the E's are going to be shifted one further than the D's, so I'll do 1 or 2 more of these. So I'm going to go ahead. As long as you're selecting where all the units are, doesn't matter how many of these you select, as long as you're grabbing every place where there are units. So I don't need to grab the 42D. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control X, select one cell over, and Control V. And you'd go on through the entire document. You do the same thing here with the E's. I know I just skipped a D up there. The E's need to shift over twice. These ones need to shift over once, and so on and so forth. So you would go through the entire document doing that. And then the last couple steps that I like to do is I like to make sure all the different types of headings, at least for items that could be tops or bottoms, so that need to be paired per se. So I won't add this heading, but what I want to do is I want to take this heading, I want to take, holding Control, this heading, and this heading. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control C. I'm going to click the first row, and I'm going to click Insert. Okay. So let's take this one, hold Control, select these cells, still holding Control. I'm still holding Control the whole way through. Now I can let go. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste. Now once I've done that, just for my own neuroses, I'm going to go ahead and refill these so that they're all the same color. So to make sure I pull exactly this color, I'm going to go ahead into the fill, more colors, and you see how it already pulls your current color. You're going to click OK. And now you see here that color is in the paint bucket. So go ahead and select the area I want. Go ahead and put in the paint bucket there. And I'm going to go ahead and also add all borders, just to match the formatting so that it looks right. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze the top pane. So I'm going to go ahead and click on row 5. I'm going to click Data. I'm going to click View, Freeze Panes, and Freeze Panes. So now I can go ahead and scroll down, and this will always be with me no matter where I am within here. All right. So once I've done that, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rename this. And I'm just going to call it Aligned. You can call it whatever you want. I just call it Aligned because once you're done with this, the D's and the E's will be properly aligned and everything will look good. And so that's the end of part 1.